Dear students, welcome to this lesson on atmosphere and environment. Today you will learn about the air pollutants, sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to state the sources and effects of sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen. Describe the effects of acid rain. Let's start with the air pollutant sulfur dioxide. The formula of sulfur dioxide is SO2. In one molecule of sulfur dioxide, one sulfur atom is chemically joined to two oxygen atoms. Sulfur dioxide is produced when sulfur burns in air. The word equation for this reaction is sulfur plus oxygen gives sulfur dioxide. One characteristic of sulfur dioxide is that it is a colorless gas with a sharp, irritating smell. Let's investigate some sources of sulfur dioxide. The man-made sources of sulfur dioxide are mainly due to the burning of fossil fuels. These include crude oil, natural gas, and coal. So let's find out how fossil fuels are formed. Dead sea plants and animals were covered by layers of silt and sand. Over millions of years, the remains were buried deeper under the layers of rocks and were turned into crude oil and gas. Coal is formed in a similar way by dead plants trapped underground millions of years ago. Fossil fuels have a variety of applications. For example, they are used as a source of energy in factories. Crude oil is refined to produce fuel for transportation and cooking. Coal is burned in power stations to generate electricity. Fossil fuels also contain sulfur impurities. During the burning of fossil fuels, the sulfur also burns to produce sulfur dioxide, which is an air pollutant. This picture illustrates a major source of sulfur dioxide. Can you identify this source? Sulfur dioxide is released into the air during the burning of fossil fuels in factories and coal-fired power stations. Another source of sulfur dioxide is shown in this picture. Identify this source. Sulfur dioxide is formed in internal combustion engines of vehicles during the combustion of fossil fuels. The sulfur dioxide is released by the exhaust pipes of the vehicles. You have learned previously that sources of air pollutants can be man-made as well as natural. This picture illustrates a natural source of sulfur dioxide. Observe this picture and identify this source. During volcanic eruptions, a large amount of sulfur dioxide is released into the air. Let's now sum up the sources of sulfur dioxide that you have learned. Sulfur dioxide is formed during the burning of fossil fuels in factories and coal-fired power stations. It is also formed in internal combustion engines of motor vehicles. Volcanic eruptions also release a large amount of sulfur dioxide into the air. Let's now explore some effects of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide affects the respiratory system and aggravates conditions such as asthma and bronchitis. It also irritates the eyes and the skin. Let's now find out the effect of sulfur dioxide on the environment. Sulfur dioxide reacts with water vapor and oxygen in the air to form sulfuric acid. Can you give the word equation for this reaction? The word equation is sulfur dioxide plus water plus oxygen give sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid dissolves in clouds, causing rainwater to become acidic. As you can see in the picture, the release of sulfur dioxide from factories results in the formation of sulfuric acid, which renders rainwater acidic. This phenomenon is known as acid rain. Let's now have a quick check on what you have learned. State the effects of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide causes breathing problems. It irritates the eyes and the skin and also causes acid rain. Let's now learn about another air pollutant, oxides of nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen consist mainly of nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. The formula for nitrogen monoxide is NO. In one molecule of nitrogen monoxide, one atom of nitrogen is chemically joined to one atom of oxygen. On the other hand, nitrogen dioxide has formula NO2. In one molecule of nitrogen dioxide, one atom of nitrogen is chemically joined to two oxygen atoms. Note that oxides of nitrogen are represented by the formula NOx. Nitrogen monoxide is formed when oxygen and nitrogen from air react at high temperatures. The nitrogen monoxide then combines with more oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide. Let's now investigate some sources of oxides of nitrogen. This picture illustrates a major source of oxides of nitrogen. Observe the picture and identify this source. Oxides of nitrogen are formed in internal combustion engines of vehicles. Nitrogen and oxygen from air combine at the high temperature in the engine to produce oxides of nitrogen. The picture shows a natural source of oxides of nitrogen. Can you identify this source? The temperature near a lightning bolt is usually very high. This causes oxygen and nitrogen from air to combine and form oxides of nitrogen. Let's have a quick check on what you have learned. State two sources of oxides of nitrogen. These are internal combustion engines of vehicles and lightning. Let's now explore some effects of oxides of nitrogen. It is interesting to note that oxides of nitrogen have the same effects as sulfur dioxide. Oxides of nitrogen damage the lungs and cause respiratory problems. They irritate the eyes and the skin. Similarly to sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen also cause acid rain. Oxides of nitrogen react with water vapor and oxygen in the air to form nitric acid. Can you give the word equation for this reaction? The word equation is oxides of nitrogen plus water plus oxygen give nitric acid. The nitric acid dissolves in clouds, causing rainwater to become acidic, thus resulting in acid rain. Let's check what you have learned. State the effects of oxides of nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen damage the lungs and cause respiratory problems. They irritate the eyes and the skin. They also cause acid rain. We have now reached the last part of this presentation. You have learned that sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen cause acid rain. Observe this picture and recall the formation of acid rain. Acid rain is formed when sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen are present in the atmosphere. They react with water vapor and oxygen in the air to form acids which cause rainwater to become acidic. Let's now investigate some effects of acid rain. This picture illustrates one effect of acid rain. Observe the picture and identify this effect. Acid rain renders the soil acidic and kills plants. The picture shows another effect of acid rain. Identify this effect. Acid rain makes water in lakes and rivers more acidic. This kills fish and other aquatic organisms. In many countries, buildings, statues, and monuments are made of a construction material called limestone. A popular example is the Taj Mahal in India. Limestone consists mainly of calcium carbonate and is affected by acid rain. This picture illustrates the effect of acid rain on a limestone statue. Observe the picture and identify this effect. Acid rain erodes buildings, statues, and monuments made of limestone. The picture illustrates another effect of acid rain. Identify this effect. Acid rain corrodes steel structures like bridges, cars, railways, and iron roofs. We have now reached the end of today's lesson. Let's summarize what you have learned in this lesson. Sulfur dioxide is released during volcanic eruptions and during the burning of fossil fuels in vehicles, factories, and coal-fired power stations. Oxides of nitrogen are formed during lightning and in internal combustion engines of vehicles. You will remember that sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen have the same effects. They cause acid rain. They also cause eye and skin irritation as well as breathing problems. You have also learned about some effects of acid rain. Acid rain renders soil acidic and kills plants. It makes water in lakes and rivers more acidic. This kills fish and other aquatic organisms. Acid rain erodes buildings, statues, and monuments made of limestone. It also corrodes steel structures like cars, bridges, railways, and iron roofs. This lesson was presented by Ms. Dukia, chemistry educator. Thank you for your attention.